What tag is that?
I put pop.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Yeah, that's clearly that's the only one that was like it's definitely pop.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you.
Maybe
I don't know what
rock or indie. I don't know.
I mean, it's like alt, like
Alternative
rockish.
music. I'll put that. I'll put rock as well.
There's
It did go on the
electronic.
rock
Is that there?
charts or whatever, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Is there like an electronica?
There is.
Okay, I'd throw that on as well.
A lot of tags.
A lot of tags.
A lot of tags. Throw some
Not
house
enough
in it.
tags,
No,
though.
it's not house music. How's your Sunday been?
It's been pretty good. Bought some books.
Nice.
Barnes and Nobles had some gift cards I wanted to spend. So, and I also got some groceries as well.
Nice.
Some supplies. I got this cute little I got it from Etsy, this like little chalkboard that like I can use to keep track of my my running times.
Nice.
I'm running. So I also had to buy chalk because I don't own chalk.
Yeah.
Who owns chalk anymore?
No one, unless you have
I
children.
asked the guy at Target, and he's like, He goes over to the back of the store. There's like there's like one thing. It's like 99-cent chalk, like at the very back corner. It's like, oh, there it is. We live in the digital age.
I would argue that most people generally just use whiteboards nowadays because they're
Yeah, but
cleaner and
chalk,
easier.
you know. But chalk, there's something something like physical about it.
You're right. There's nothing quite like that awful sound it makes when you draw on a board with it.
Haptic feedback, You know you're drawing on a chalkboard when you use chalk.
I mean, to be fair, you're drawing on a whiteboard when you use a whiteboard.
Oh, that's true. But that's less fun. What about you? How's your day?
Good. Really didn't do much. Made breakfast for the week. Chilling. I was gonna make my dinners for the week as well, but then I opened my cookbook and step one was to marinate overnight. I'm like, oh fuck, I forgot to do that. So I'm marinating the meat, but
well, I found if you want to speed up marination, take the recipe, how much liquid it says to add, and just like triple that, and that like thirds the time.
I don't believe you.
Oh, come on, that makes sense. 3 times the liquid, it marinates faster.
Well, it's not liquid though, is the thing. It's spices and curry paste.
Oh, just add a shit ton of curry paste on it then.
I mean, the thing of curry paste is like $4, and I already used the whole thing throughout the whole recipe. I'm not supposed to, but I do because it tastes better.
Was it one of those little glass jars?
Yeah.
You got to go for the bagged curry paste. Usually at like Asian marts, it's like a bunch of it, and they're always a lot spicier.
Yeah, I always do all my shopping at Kroger though, and if I'm gonna go out anywhere else, I don't like doing that. Yeah, I like going one place and then being done.
No, that's fair. That's fair. You have to go out of your way for the bagged curry paste.
Yeah.
Plus, it's a lot less convenient.
Yeah.
What are you making then?
I am making chicken peanut butter sauce stuff.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
It's very good. Also, all the chicken I basically got 5 pounds of chicken for free.
For free?
Yeah.
How'd you get that?
Well, there was a buy one get one sale of equal or lesser value. And then when I got to checkout, I had a coupon for $5 off my order. And the chicken was the more expensive chicken was $4.72.
Well, there we go.
So I got some free chicken.
Oh, that's nice. So is chicken so versatile?
Yeah. So I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to use the other one for. So I just stuck it in a plastic bag and froze it.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe like couple of months from now, you'll think, I wish I just had a bunch of chicken. And then it'll be there.
Yeah. And it's supposed to be good for 6 months to a year after you freeze it. So I got some time.
It's been chicken time.
Yeah, and it's not like I never use chicken thighs are one of the most used things I get. One of the things I use the most.
Is chicken thigh?
Mm-hmm.
I never liked thigh as much as the breast, though. I don't know. Isn't thigh more dark meat?
No. I think. Where is the dark meat? I don't remember. They have very little dark meat. I do know that.
That's true. I'll probably make some fish this week. I'm feeling fishy. I felt kind of bad because I didn't. It's a good post-workout meal, but I ended up not running today because I slept in too late. Just stayed up watching Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah, I don't exercise on the weekends. I'm lazy on the weekends.
Well, you're not working on the weekends. That's it's your time.
Yeah. It's my recovery time for my body.
So you can feed it and make it grow stronger.
Feed it at least.
I've at least tripled in size.
It's not a good thing.
I will have all the muscle.
Well, you want to get on rolling?
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, thighs and legs are dark. Breasts and wings are white.
Okay, yeah.
I never thought of thighs as the dark meat.
Yeah, I always thought thighs were dark meat.
They're pretty. I guess when I'm thinking of dark meat, I'm thinking of turkey, which is
turkey dark is like really dark.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
They're less dark, but still dark relative to the not dark.
Yeah. I don't know. Chicken breast is just all right. I've always been a bigger fan of chicken thigh.
I don't know, good.
And drumsticks. Drumsticks are where it's at.
Some people just like dark meat more.
Yeah. It just tastes better, especially in like turkey. Who likes white meat in turkey?
I like white.
But the dark meat just tastes so much better.
I
think it's because it's fattier, right?
Does dark meat? Is that why it's darker? I actually don't know.
I'm not entirely sure. Let's see. Is dark meat fattier? Yeah, dark meat is fattier. That's why it tastes better.
Well. There we go.
Alrighty. You might need to lean forward just a tiny bit, Cooper. You're a bit quiet.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Keep forgetting that.
You had your desktop for a while now, man.
Yeah, and I keep forgetting it.
You need to get one of the stands like I've got so you can be you could be lying on the ground and still have it next to your mouth.
I didn't need that much mobility. Not yet, anyways.
Yet. You will, eventually.
One day.
All right. Let me make sure that's all updated, and we will get on going. So, hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Audio Shop Podcast. This week we are talking about Torches by Foster the People. And I believe this was a request, wasn't it, Coop?
It was. Let me just scroll down to our suggestion box, which you can see underneath us on Twitch. This was a suggestion by Sammy Boy. So thank you, Sammy Boy. And
I should probably, while you're doing that, I should probably send this to the group me because I forgot to let them know that we were doing this one. Whoops.
So if you have any albums that you would like us to give a listen, be sure to drop it down in the suggestion box. We look at them occasionally. We'll pull every now and then.
Rarely,
but occasionally.
Yeah, it'll happen eventually. Maybe.
But yeah, so this was a audience suggested album. A little newer, relatively, 2011. It's by the band Foster the People. So they were actually a indie pop band formed in Los Angeles, California, back in 2009. Started by the lead vocalist Mark Foster, aptly named, and then they got their lead guitarist, a keyboardist, and a drummer. And this is actually their debut album, released, like I said, in May 2011. You may have heard of their little song called "Pumped Up Kicks," which is like the only thing that was played, like in 2011.
I don't think another song was ever played on the radio during those years.
Yeah, no, from 2011 to 2013, radio was legally obligated to only play Foster the People's "Pumped Up Kicks." And it did very well, basically as well as any indie song could do in any capacity over the radio waves. I mean, it only reached number 3 on Billboard's Hot 100, but it had some staying power. I mean, just in terms of Spotify plays, which I believe the most played song of all time is like an Ed Sheeran song, "Shape of You." It's like 2 billion views. This one's got like a solid almost 900 million views. So, that's pretty up there.
It is. A lot of plays.
So that's a lot of plays. And like I said, this is the first of their 3 albums that they've released so far, with their latest being in 2017. And like I said, this was kind of a sleeper hit. Pumped Up Kicks blew up, and like this album got a lot of the press because of that.
I don't know if I've ever heard another one of their songs before this, besides "Pumped Up Kicks."
I'm not sure either. Maybe I may have heard Helena Beat. It seemed vaguely familiar.
I don't think so.
But beyond that, yeah, I hadn't heard any. I wouldn't call them a one-hit wonder necessarily, but they definitely have one hit that's far and away their biggest one. There's no.
Isn't that what one-hit wonders are? That's why they're called one-hit wonders. Is because they have one song that they're known for, and then no one listens to their other songs ever.
They have other listens. I mean, even their other songs on this album have like 100 million views. So I'd say relatively, obviously, they have a big song, but it's not like they only have one song that anyone ever listens to, and that's it.
Fair enough.
I was looking through. We're doing the Spotify version of this album, so just its standard release. But it also had an iTunes edition, which came with an extra like 5-minute song. And it also had a Best Buy exclusive edition, which came with 2 other exclusive songs. So I guess, Best Buy, nothing says indie like a Best Buy edition, right?
Yeah.
I just thought that was kind of funny.
It's not
we're not reviewing those songs. And we're not doing the Japanese edition that has all those songs plus other remixes. Because the Japan always gets like special editions.
Because if they don't, then what is it? They're legally not allowed to.
No, just like Japan. I don't know why, but whenever they sell CDs, they're much more expensive than like relative for other countries. So it's actually cheaper in Japan to ship CDs from internationally than just to buy at a local store. So most Japanese record dealers have like a deal so that their version has like an extra song so that they encourage people to buy local. Something along those lines.
I feel like we talk about this at least once a month and always forget. Every single time.
Because there's always Japanese editions for all these albums.
Yeah.
This one also has an Australian edition, in case you want to get a hold of that. But I say we just jump right into it then with the track number 1, Helena Beat.
Or Helena Beat.
Is that how it's pronounced?
I have no idea. It's a name, so it goes either way.
Well, one or the other. And this is their first, or one of their lead singles.
I'm pretty sure the only song I had heard coming into this before listening to the album was Pumped Up Kicks. I don't think I'd ever heard any of the other ones come on.
I think that's pretty fair for most people, because I'm basically the same way. But yeah, this is their first song, and it kind of starts with this like really electronic beat,
Very
and like
energetic electronic
yeah,
beat at that.
and like child's laughter maybe.
Yeah, I heard that, but I wasn't paying too much attention. I was trying to figure out the instruments.
This is a very electro heavy album.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'd say it's less, I think they're like listed as like pop rock and like indie pop, but it's like very synth heavy.
Felt like it had some vaporwave influence in there.
Yeah, kind of underlying. Every song basically has a synth underlying.
Mm-hmm. Not quite Blinding Lights level, but
ever present.
I definitely feel like this paved the way for that album, but I don't know.
It definitely feels like it's utilizing a little bit of throwback sounds with the synth, kind of going forward into like this is a very early 2010s pop album, I'd say.
Very early 2010s.
This is definitely a 2011 album, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're a bit younger, so we're growing up during the 2011s in terms of like middle school, high school. So we were molded by it, born in it.
I didn't listen to too much music during that time. I was mainly what my parents listened to, which was just classic rock,
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Didn't have your ear to the radio?
No, not really. I mean, I was never in control of the radio.
That's fair. Your dad didn't blast Maroon 5 and
no, they did listen to Maroon 5 quite a bit.
I knew it.
When did Kelly Clarkson come out? My mom's a big fan of her.
Kelly Clarkson's gay?
What? No, I'm talking about her songs.
Oh, okay.
This was not my ELO or death phase, Jonah. That was 2011 was too early for that. What is it? What was I in 2011?
No, ELO. That's from.
That's college.
Yeah, that's from when Sam was born to present day.
Yeah, so. That's better. Yeah, you're right. Anyway,
his existence. But this song, right?
Song, yeah.
So yeah, pretty high energy song. Like I said, that synth underneath. The vocals are a little bit dreamy, which is kind of a running theme throughout this album.
Yeah, this dude can sing super high.
Yeah, this album, it almost sounds like there's some points where it sounds very feminine, very female.
He just sings real high. It's ridiculously high. I don't know if he's doing any modulation or anything, but holy cow.
And the voices are definitely like filtered most of the time. Kind of like either like that kind of radio filter or like that like distance filter. But yeah, the chorus is despite the vocals kind of being dreamy, of course it's high energy. It's got like those indie claps going in.
Thankfully, I didn't notice them in this song.
Yeah, they're farther back in the mix. I mean, just having the synth with the percussion and then like some guitar playing on top of that. Each song usually is pretty busy, so it doesn't really draw too much attention to it.
And it's busy, but it doesn't really go anywhere, right? There's a lot of progression right at the start of the song, and then there's a very short breakdown, but it just kind of it's the best word I can use to describe the songs on this album are inoffensive. You know, they're not doing anything crazy. They're just kind of there.
I'd say pumped up kicks.
Yeah.
Maybe not obviously lyrically. That's been discussed to death, but we'll get to that.
But I'm talking about just song structure wise, right? This is very much a party song. It gets going fast. It stays going. The lyrics are super repetitive, so you can learn it after listening to it once. And, you know, it lasts for 2 to 3 minutes.
This one's a little longer. It's like 4.5 minutes, but it still does follow that structure of like chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus. They have like this synth breakdown at like the 3-minute point, but then just goes back to the chorus, but with like those like e-woos thrown in. Not oo-woos, e-woos.
And it just doesn't go anywhere with the progression. Later on, they do a good job. They add in some instruments and stuff like that. But in this first one, it's very, you know, just kind of, it is what it is.
Very turn your mind off kind of.
Which, you know, single. There's certainly a place for that kind of music.
Yeah, apparently it was, for this song, it's actually one of the most played tracks on Australian radio. Uh,
Why?
I don't know why Australia has so much. They're an American band. They're not an Australian band. I don't know why Australia liked them so much that they got their own album and like all these tracks. But
why? I don't understand. I don't know. Maybe that's just kind of the music they like. Who knows?
Maybe they just liked synth. Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's get rid of all the. This is a song. Let's go to the main meal, and that's track number 2, "Pumped Up Kicks." Which even if you don't know anything about Foster the People, if you were alive 10 years ago,
you definitely
heard the song.
And people complaining about it.
Which is, of course, and if you're living in Iraq and you don't understand, first off, it was very prevalent, but also it's like basically a song about a school shooter.
Yeah, it's the theme song for multiple schools across America.
Let's not get into that. But yeah, it's a song about a school shooter, so it's a very dark theme, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And yet it's somehow also like ever present, like being played in like Macy's across the country.
Yeah, it's because it's just so light and airy that if you don't, you can not hear the lyrics if you don't listen.
Yeah, they make that very easy because like the vocals are like filtered. They're like kind of very mellow and downtrodden, and like kind of back in the mix. So it's like very easy not to know what they're saying. But then you listen to it and you're like, oh.
Yeah, a good way to phrase it would be it's another case of the sound of the words are more important than what's being said, but it just so happens in this song it's not actually gibberish. They added meaning to the lyrics.
Yeah, so pretty dark. But it's also over a very a dreamy song.
Mm-hmm.
Like especially the chorus. Like I said, those vocals are reverbed and filtered. It's over this really like funky bass line that's like ever present throughout the song. It just kind of winds its way. The song is another one that doesn't progress very significantly.
No, it does not.
But it's almost like kind of hypnotic in that way.
They do add some whistling later on to shake things up, but they just sing the chorus over and over and over again. And I mean, that's just the way pop is these days. Not that that's not how it's always been, but you just sing the chorus over and over again because it's easy to make. It's pop music.
Well, it's for easy listening, which is of course the irony of it for this subject.
Yeah. I will say it does have a 2-1-1-1 clap, but that doesn't make it any better from a 2-1 clap. It's still bad.
I barely even noticed the clap on this one. I don't know. I like the vocals on this one. They're almost more of an instrument than like vocals, really. Like I said, that bass line, it's simple but it's solid.
Yeah, the mixing on this one's a lot better, I would say. I don't know if it's because they knew that this would be popular or it got popular because it's just arguably a better song. But yeah, who knows?
I mean, it was their lead single, like a lead.
Yeah. So they probably knew. I imagine they workshopped it or whatever. Like, hey, listen to this album. Which one did you like? Or listen to these singles. Which one did you like the most?
Yeah, they actually released this single like a full 6 or so months in advance before their album release. It was the first one. So
6 months? Jeez.
Yeah. So I guess they're very confident in it. And I guess they should have been.
Yeah, that confidence was well placed. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know really what we can say about this song that hasn't already been said about this song.
Yeah, it's been talked to death for 10 years. It's not even out for 10 years yet.
So, controversial subject matter, but done over a very dreamy instrumental.
Mm-hmm.
That's, hella catchy.
Yeah, very catchy. Which is, it's got a very similar vibe to Blinding Lights, which is probably why it did so well. It's
that kind of throwback synth vibe.
Yeah, it's just, every 35 years or whatever, what was popular becomes popular again. And plus,
so
they're both just
80 synth.
Yeah. Jump into track number 3 if you're ready, Coop.
I am.
Call It What You Want.
Call It What You Want. And this song starts with these kind of mouth noise electronic percussion sounds, I'd say.
I didn't get mouth noise from it. I just thought they were fun electronic beats.
To me, it kind of sounded like a very filtered, like mouth noises.
I didn't pick up on that.
It drops off pretty quickly when the song starts proper. Into this like really kind of funky, dissonant, like electronic beat.
Mm-hmm.
Actually quite interesting.
It brings a lot of high energy right away. Very dance floor vibe.
Yeah. The lyrics on this one are... Pumpkin Kicks Out Like a Story. This one just says call it what you want a bunch.
Yeah. Yeah, this is one of the more repetitive songs on the album. But it's just one of those pop albums, so I'll try and stop saying that since I've said that every single song up to this one.
It does have this kind of interesting underlying piano melody, melody that's kind of played over, I guess, Foster's vocals, or a little more spoken word on the verse.
Yeah, this one actually had a tiny bit of progression, I want to say. They dropped everything out at the last minute before bringing it back up. With a little bit of just a piano before that. But I don't know, it's just kind of it is what it is from the start. And they try and do a little bit of a, piano feature, but it lasts less than 30 seconds.
Yeah, I did like the piano breakdown. And it is a pretty snazzy piano throughout. Even if the chorus kind of bulldozes through it. This was like I said, this is another one of their singles. This one was actually prominently featured in FIFA 2012.
Why? What?
I don't know. FIFA 2012 had a soundtrack, and this was one of their main songs on it.
Alrighty. Speaking of the 80s influence, did you pick up that they had a secondary hi-hat in the left ear only?
I didn't really pick up on that on this song.
Yeah, that was fun. They had a hi-hat, but it was in both ears. But then they had a secondary hi-hat that was only in the left. It was kind of far back in the mix, so it was almost tolerable. But it was still why do you do that? This was made in 2011, not the 80s. You don't need to do that anymore.
I didn't even notice it.
Yeah,
there's hi-hats in both ears. I think they're just very sensitive in your left ear.
I don't think it's that.
But yeah, pretty inoffensive song. It's got like a humming break at the end, and the song ends with like some piano.
I would say the ending wasn't super. It kind of just cuts at the end.
Right to the next song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was for such a high energy song, you have to provide just a little bit of spacing instead of just chop and then that's it.
Right to the next song, which is also pretty high energy too.
I'm not saying do a fade out or anything, but just have something
besides just
the
next song.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, track number 4, Don't Stop, Color on the Walls. And this is probably the most outright bubbly song on the album. It's also another one of their singles. The first 4 songs of their album are all singles.
Front loading a little bit.
Yes. And this one's like bulby to the extreme. It's got like these like synth bleep and blops in the background. It kind of sounds like I call it like Target commercial music. If you can imagine a bunch of like people dancing around in like their khaki jeans or like khaki pants, like
I was much too focused on right at the start. They attempted to balance an acoustic guitar in the left ear against a tambourine in the right, which did not work. Percussion only balances against percussion of equal sharpness. I don't understand how this is not something that is taught in music theory. Doesn't work. They were hitting the same beats, but tambourine is a lot sharper than acoustic guitar.
I'm pretty sure the acoustic guitar was in both ears.
Well, the tambourine was completely covering it on the left, so the tambourine was competing with nothing on the right then. Or tambourine was on the right, competing with nothing on the left.
Because I'm listening to it right now, and it sounds pretty balanced to me.
Yeah. Well, there's a tambourine that's exclusively in the right ear.
I don't know, Sam. It's getting to the point where I can't even notice it anymore.
I don't know what to tell you.
Are you Truman showing me?
I think you're losing your hearing.
Hey, I can hear fine.
Yeah,
You just got your acoustic bat ears.
Sure you can. They do have, there was some trilly whistling. That's the best way I can describe it. It was like warbling almost that was going on that I liked. But that laughter they had throughout was kind of weird.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it added to the song. I guess it made it more different.
Different doesn't necessarily mean good, though.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say it's better. Though it does kind of build up to like a bit of a chaotic ending, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Like the synth kind of goes off and it ends like with, I can only describe as like a baby's crying, pitch shifted down.
Yeah, and there was chaos at the end, but I wouldn't say this song has much in the way of progression. Because everything that's happening in the song happens from the beginning, aside from when they decide to just go completely chaotic at the end, and I wouldn't call that progression.
Yeah, it is the shortest song on the album, like just under 3 minutes.
So they get a bit of a pass for that, but still, I really dislike when they just everything is in the song from the start. You gotta just throw me a bone, a little bit of something.
Yeah, no, the songs are very stagnant in terms of not really bringing things new in, at least for most of them.
Yeah, some are fine, but quite a few of them are they're just there. Jump into track number 5 if you're ready, Coop.
Yeah, track number 5, Waste.
So this one was, the bass line was interesting. It's the best way I can describe it, because it sounds like one of those electric pads, you know what I'm talking about, with the rows of squares.
Yes.
That you just tap.
Yeah. Like the drum pads.
Yeah, but they use it for effects. They had bells, which I think more songs need bells. Because they're great.
So that's your platform?
Yeah. Bells are good in retro songs.
Yeah, the song is the chorus itself is kind of grander than I expected. Like it's literally got like a grand piano in the background, but it's also got like these church bells going on.
Mm-hmm.
And even at like at one point, like this kind of choir-ish thing goes in, which is kind of juxtaposed against the verses, which are a lot more like synth heavy and like they remind me a lot of Glass Animals. I remember the album How to Be a Human Being, like a very gooey kind of synthy noise.
Mm-hmm. Did you listen to the lyrics at all in this one?
Not particularly, except like the verses like "We're waste."
So to me, it definitely felt like the singer was kind of a douche, or at least he was playing one. Because basically the whole point of the song is they're wanting somebody to get over their trauma so that they can date them.
Oh,
and it was calling them recovering wasting a day.
Wow.
Like they didn't want to go out or anything, so they're saying what a waste of a day.
That's kind of dark.
Yeah.
But I guess, they touched on it before.
Yeah. And that was just what I picked up on. It might have a different meaning that they were trying to give it.
Huh, interesting. But I guess it's another case where like the lyrics aren't as in your face as maybe in some albums.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I didn't have much for this one. Did you have anything else for it?
But not really. I mean, I guess I kind of like the breakdown like 2:30, like I said, when the choir comes in and there's like synth underlying all of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting mix of sounds.
Yeah, I don't know. This one, like, I don't know. It didn't have anything that drew me in or anything that was specifically nitpicky about it. Like, I like the bells, but that was about it. It's just this one feels paramount of it's a song.
Well, it is their first non-single on the album so far. So.
Yeah, maybe that's why.
But I think it's got a couple interesting things going for it.
Mm-hmm. Certainly has lyrics with meaning as opposed to some of the other ones.
A little more heft
to it.
And we'll go on to track number 6 if you're ready, Sam.
I am.
I would do anything for you.
But I won't do... Oh, wait, no. Different song.
But I won't do that. What is it, Meatloaf? What won't you do?
No, it's I'd do anything for love.
But I won't do that.
Yes.
Whatever that is.
This one, it was a little bit jarring initially because the vocals are mixed much higher and they're like kind of uncomfortably crisp, but you get used to it pretty quick. It's a very sudden style shift and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, all right. It just takes you a second.
Yeah, it's a little sadder until you get the chorus, which is actually a singer, not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
Like the energetic, like a guitar on it in the background with like plucky piano and that like ooh la la vocal line. It's actually pretty fun.
It is. I will say there was a minute at like the 2-minute mark where they had the start of a synth breakdown. I don't know if you picked up on that. But then they just let the opportunity pass them by. Like they had a little bit of a start of something cool, and then they just went back into the chorus.
Yeah, I did pick up on that. It just kind of merges back into the chorus instantly.
I was like, oh, you were about to do something so cool there, but then they didn't. But I mean, I still really like the song.
Yeah, and it does actually progress a little bit because the last chorus kind of has like these stacked pitched vocals going to it as well. I mean, it's a little thing, but it really adds a little heft to the song.
Yeah, I would say this has proper... I mean, it doesn't have to be, you start with 5 instruments and end with a full orchestra. It just has to be something. So I would say this one has proper progression.
Yeah, it's just little tweaks here and there.
And the
outro
is a bit long, but I think it helps to portray the mood, that they're going for.
Yeah, it kind of lets you carry it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's
yeah, I didn't have much for that one either. I don't know. Just when we got to the last couple on this one, it just started to blend, yeah.
That's fair. Some pop albums can be like that.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll get on to the next song, track number 7, Houdini, the final single on this album.
This was a single?
Yes.
Oy. It may just be me, but snapping and clapping do not music make.
It definitely had plenty of that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got like... Wow, it features synth. But it's got like this kind of pounding piano underneath.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, the synth line of the thing is a little whiny on the song for my taste, I feel. I'm not sure if you got much of that.
Yeah.
Like so far, it's been like nothing to super write home about, but they've been serviceable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's progression on this one, I will say. I do appreciate the brass that comes in, even if it is completely digital. And I mean, like the song fleshes out more by the end of it, but it just kind of, it's just like, it starts a little sparse. It becomes full by the end, but it's, there's nothing to write home about, like you said. It's just kind of, it's a song.
Yeah, it's definitely the most meh of all the singles.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at like the 2-minute mark, they add like some like electric like brass sounds underneath it that add some energy going into the bridge, which I can dig that. And there's even like a nice little breakdown at 2:45 that kind of actually leads the song out. Actually, kind of quite like the ending to the song.
Yeah, it's nice. I think I prefer the ending to the previous song, but I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, but beyond that, the rest of the song's pretty...
Yeah, it's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. It's just not,
good.
I wouldn't say it's not good. It's just, there's a difference between, a Bob Ross painting and the Mona Lisa, right?
I suppose. One's got more significance to it.
Yeah. Although that might just be due to the fame of the artist. But anyway, moving on.
Track number 8.
Life on a Nickel.
Life on the Nickel.
Sorry.
On the Nickel. This one starts with some pretty aggressive, like bassy drums underneath it.
Mm-hmm.
They're surprisingly like, wait, no, I'm thinking of, where am I thinking of Miss You? This one still has the best, like, aggressive, like, bassy drums. Yeah, there's like some chimes over it as well.
Yeah, it's got some nice sound effects at the beginning, but then whatever the percussion is that starts at like 20 seconds, I was not a fan of.
It's kind of there throughout the entire song.
Yeah. I really felt like the vocals did not sync to the music on this one at all.
You didn't like those very high-pitched vocals?
No, it didn't. It felt like they were offbeat almost.
Yeah, I don't know what was quite. I couldn't quite pin it down, but I really didn't like the singing on this song.
Yeah,
I'm not quite sure what made it different, but it felt like a little more hollow. Yeah. Definitely the worst on the album, I think.
Mm-hmm. And the best description I can give for this one is that it's sparse but crowded, because the only instruments going on at any one time are either synth or piano, but there's just so many random drums in the background that make it chaotic, yet there's still not enough going on.
Yeah, it's an odd mixture of things that don't really work. I don't know, maybe because the drumming's so aggressive that kind of they were hoping that would fill it in, but like it's like they're missing a couple instruments.
Yeah, it definitely feels that way. But I don't know. It definitely felt like they were offbeat to me.
I mean, there's like it's got like some fun kind of glitchy video gamey sounds in the background, and there's like a drum break at like 2:45, which is kind of fun.
I don't know if a drum break during a song that has too many drums is a good thing, though.
I mean, if you're gonna have too much drums, you might as well have too much drums. It kind of leads into like a synth kind of fade out thing to the end of the song.
Mm.
But yeah, I just did not feel this song. It's like boring, but also like in an annoying way.
Yeah. And it had such a good start for about 20 seconds, and then it didn't.
Kind of goes away.
Jumping to track number 9, then, if you're ready, Coop.
Yes, track number 9, Miss You. And this is the one that starts with like some really, really aggressive drumming. That has like this kind of synth that bubbles up underneath.
Yeah, I don't know. This one, I feel like this one just kind of passed me by.
In terms of leaving no impact?
Yeah. Like there was the sections where they were just repeating the same note over and over again in the background. It's just like it feels like a safe pop song, and it just went in one ear and out the other for me. But the ending was awful. I can't say that left an impact.
You didn't like the ending?
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's like the synth kind of going crazy there.
Yeah, I was not a fan of that, especially for how on this song, everything leading up to that did not mesh whatsoever.
Yeah, it's definitely. I feel like they're going for like a cacophony of sound kind of thing at the end there. I don't know. It doesn't feel as earned. Maybe just because the chorus doesn't have like really any impact. I guess the like chorus is this thing where it like drops out and then like the bass line comes back with the percussion, which like makes it hyper focused. But then they do it like 3 times, so it's like okay, kind of loses its charm.
Yeah, it just completely passed me by for some reason.
Yeah, no, this is a bit of a skip it song.
Mm-hmm. Very much of a skip it.
So we will. And we'll go on to the last track on the album, track number 10, Warrant. It's also the longest song of the album.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably most because it has like a synthy choir like intro to it.
Yeah, they actually take a little bit of time to do a bit of progression.
Yeah, I actually kind of like it. It's very, very relaxing, but a little haunting, a little mellow.
Yeah,
the drums like slowly build up into it over the minute.
Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful, beautiful, angelic intro. But then I feel like by the time the singing starts at 1:50, it loses all that charm that it was building during the intro and goes back to the same pop style they've been doing for the whole album.
Yeah, I feel like they could have made this into something a little more interesting, even if it's like an instrumental outro. That'd be kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, once the vocals come in, it kind of goes back to being like another like pop song. That's okay, but nothing like super memorable.
Yeah, it felt extremely repetitive even for this album. Like it's still an okay song, but it's not something you sit down and listen to.
I mean, we sat down and listened to it.
Yeah, which has not worked for a couple of albums we've listened to so far.
Yeah, no, this one doesn't work as well, I think. Once you actually get into it, I mean, there's some like bass line that kicks in. It's got like that piano riffed underneath it the entire song.
Yeah, but these are the same things that they've been doing on every other song.
Yeah, the songs don't really do much to differentiate themselves between each other. Which, they've got a sound.
Mm-hmm.
But like even like the Elton John album we listened to last time, like he had a definitive sound, but at least each song kind of had some variety between it.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they're stinkers that didn't work out, he was trying a different sound, within his sound. I don't think this album ever really does that.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
So like synth-led songs with like a percussion drum pad underneath, and like Foster's kind of whiny vocals over it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they'll throw in piano, but yeah. So that kind of makes the album a little washed over you a bit. At least for me. I don't want to speak for you.
Yeah, it just kind of is. Like I said, it's aside from the Pumped Up Kicks controversy, it's a very inoffensive, just kind of pop album.
Yeah, which is a shame because I feel like they could have gone a little deeper into things, made things a little more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously this album sold pretty well, so I guess that's just what they were going for.
Yeah.
Not much of an artistic lasting impression, I feel, though.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, this was their first album. Have they released? They've released 2 more albums. What were they ranked?
In terms of like their sales?
Not necessarily that, but like, I don't think they've released another song that's been popular.
I'm looking at their Spotify. They have I guess the song Sit Next to Me was kind of popular. I don't remember it, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, listening to it doesn't sound... It has a different sound, there, at least. I'll give it that. So...
Well, this is their first album. Chance to grow, unlike Panic at the Disco, who had released his 3rd album, and it was the worst of them so far.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to knock them for, like... They established a sound on their first album.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty clearly. Even if they didn't deviate from it that much. And obviously it was commercially successful. So I think at the very least, they built a sound.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least like components of it. So I could give them points for that. But yeah, I mean, that's the full album we just listened to. So Sam, what would you say is your favorite songs on the album?
Favorite song, I would probably have to say I Would Do Anything for You. I feel like that was one of the more fleshed out songs. It's certainly the most unique on the album. It's different from everything else. I really dislike that they didn't go for the synth breakdown at the 2-minute mark there, but it is what it is. Pumped Up Kicks is a good song, but It's all right. Maybe it's just because I listened to it for like 5 years, because that's what they played on the radio a lot. But
and that's fair. I think we've all heard Pumped Up Kicks a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like they still play it quite a bit. What about you, Coop? What was your favorite song?
I would probably have to agree with what you just said. I would do anything for you, as well as Pumped Up Kicks are kind of the two songs on here. I mean, I would do anything for you just has a very good chorus.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's kind of like it doesn't really do anything that different from the rest of the album. But you know, it has a little progression. It has a good chorus, you know, so that kind of makes it stand out a bit more. And then, you know, even though Pumped Up Kicks is overplayed, certainly, it's got a strong foundation, and obviously, I wouldn't say it's a bad song. It hasn't gotten annoying after hearing it so many times. So I guess that kind of alludes to how it has that good bass line and kind of catchy chorus.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of have to respect that they took, you know, they took aim at like a controversial subject matter on their lead album. What about your least favorite songs?
Least favorite song would definitely have to be "Life on the Nickel." I don't know, the whatever drum they used I really disliked. The vocals seemed out of sync. It's sparse but crowded at the same. It just wasn't a good song. We've listed all these reasons already. I did not like it.
I won't repeat it, but I also agree.
Yeah,
for exactly all the same reasons. Just kind of undercooked. And like it's undercooked and it didn't do anything interesting. So like, why? But yeah, so that's basically the complete album Torches by Foster the People. So I guess now we'll get into rating it.
Yeah, do you want to I think I did the rating system text last time. Oh, sorry, that's what it's called here. I did the rating system last time. Do you want to do it this time?
Yeah, I'll give it a shot. So I'm so nervous. This is my first time doing it. Not even true.
That's not true.
No, but here on the audio shop, me and Sam have a collective, I think, 200 years experience with cars.
You forgot a zero there.
Yeah, 2000. Sorry, I always get those mixed up. You know, we just know every part, the bumper, the engine, etc., every part of the car. So of course, you make our car or our podcast car themed with our rating system. So we have showroom at the top, which means this is something you cannot miss. You have to listen to it. It's good in basically most conceivable fashions, and that you'll be doing yourself a disservice by passing it up. And then you go down from like new to fixer upper to use rental, all the way down to scrapyard, which is you're doing yourself a disservice by listening to this album. It will mentally and physically harm you, and you should not even look at the album art.
Mm-hmm.
It'll just make you have emotional pains for the rest of your life. And then we'll give it like maybe a high or low, depending on if we want some wiggle room in between there. So, Sam, what would you say is your rating for this album?
I would say, I think this deserves a, I don't know, low fixer upper, maybe a high used rental.
Okay.
Just because there are some bad moments, and there are some meh moments. You know, there's nothing that's like, wow, that was great. It's just kind of there. Like I said, like I've been saying this whole time, it's just an inoffensive pop album, which you can slap on at a party and probably nobody's going to complain about. So yeah. I don't think you should sit down and listen to this album. I don't think it's worth it. But then again, if it comes on, I wouldn't say, oh, turn it off immediately. It's just kind of like, eh.
Yeah, no, I'll have to agree with the fixer upper on this one. I think it's pretty definitively middle of the road. Like I said, there's no like songs that are like, ooh, gross. We've definitely had better ratings for some songs that had like worse songs on them.
Mm-hmm.
But this one is like the trade-off to there being no like two super bad songs is there's no like super good songs either. It's a very kind of beige album.
Yeah.
But you know, debut album, they're making their sound. and it has a couple interesting ideas on it here and there. But like, it's a just kind of fun, easy listening synthy throwback album from the early 2010s.
Mm-hmm.
And beyond that, there's not like, yo, dude, you gotta listen to this album. It's just a very Target, deal bin album.
Yeah, exactly. That's probably the best. It's like finding out that you're just gonna have buttered toast for dinner. Like, buttered toast is pretty good, but only having buttered toast for dinner,
Can I get something more? Something else?
Yeah, something with a bit more meat, a vegetable, something, just anything. Nope, just buttered toast.
You don't dislike buttered toast, but you don't want to eat it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a review of Torches by Foster the People.
Yeah.
This hot 2011 take.
Hot 2011 take that at least one person asked for.
Yes. Thank you for the recommendation again, Sammy. Sammy boy.
That's Liam. We can just say Liam.
That's true.
But yeah, that was Torches by Foster the People. Now we're gonna roll on over to the Spare Tire, which is just whatever else we've been listening to during the past week. And I imagine you've been listening to quite a bit, Cooper.
Yes, I've listened to a few albums this week. The one, if I had to give a recommendation for one, I recommend Moon Safari by Air. It's this like a French kind of electro music album. Air's it's a duo from France. It was released back in like 1998, and it's an extremely easy listening album. Right? This is like I fell asleep to this album, kind of like that. Like I legitimately fell asleep to it.
Wow.
But it's also very good. I think it sets out to achieve that very chilled out electronic feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're kind of going for like a dreamier space pop kind of album, I'd give this one a listen. What about you, Sam?
I haven't been listening to much. I listened to the Over the Garden Wall soundtrack.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah, it is. And then, other than that, just a bunch of JoJo music. I don't know. I just haven't. I only really listen to music when I drive into work, and I only drove in twice this week, so I just didn't have a ton.
Well, that's fair. I guess that's it for this week then.
Yeah. Thank you so much for listening. And if you'd also like to leave a suggestion yourself, I know we mentioned this briefly earlier, but on the Twitch page, there's a suggestion box where you can type a suggestion, and then we'll listen to it at some point. And then if you are listening right now on YouTube and you like what you hear, Sundays at 8 p.m., we are live on Twitch. And if you're on Twitch and you didn't catch all of it, or you want to hear other ones, you click on the picture of Jeff Lynne down below, and that'll take you over to YouTube, where they're all archived.
And you can know what we're going to be reviewing next at our Twitter, at AudioShop14. We'll let you know the album, the artist. And we usually always do it at Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern. So if you want to hop over to Twitch while we're there, we'd love to have you in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's all she wrote.
Yeah. So thank you for listening, and we will catch you again next time.
See you later, shoppies.
See you.